Come on.
I like that one.
Yeah, took care of that for you.
Yo, the lies so that you never make it. Hopeless, so it seems. Eyes closed, hands is open wide to embrace your dreams. Sometimes you gotta take a loss just to get the win. Like lots of sin was popping in like oxygen when boxes wet. Focus on the mental, never lose like a smooth instrumental. Better choose on the move in a pinto. Choose what I get to, never lose smooth on the move, but it's simple. Never give up and we running it maybe. We just keep winning, we conquering daily. Envision that pay me, it's never this way. We indigenous, maybe we winning this crazy. Your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity, it's your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity, it's your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity, it's your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity.
Yeah. Welcome one, welcome all, ladies and gentlemen. It is the Lion Villain Report, and I am your host. It's your boy, Russell Wayne, up in the house right here. And we are broadcasting live right now into the Lions Villain Squad Facebook page. Drink that Kool-Aid. Hit that subscribe button. Thank you to everybody that's sharing, liking, and commenting on this comment right here. We're broadcasting live. Thank you to Stephen Michael Menina for supplying us with some awesome artwork right here. And we just crossed over 56,000 followers. Oh, why have thousands when we can have, why have billions when we can have thousands? Oh, yes. Oh, yes. We are also live in YouTube right now at Lions Villain Squad, as well as the JC Sports Network, along with Joe Chapman and boys over on the Facebook page, Detroit Lions News Podcast, and they're 77,000 people. We are the UDFA of sports podcasting. So the people that are liking, sharing, and commenting are helping our page. We're not corporate. We're just a couple knuckleheads with a podcast right here, and you can help us out a lot just by liking the wherever you're watching it on right now. We are brought to you live right now by NFL Shop. You can use that QR code, or you can use this phenomenal little code I got or this comment I'm throwing into the comments right now on all of the platforms. You can use that and you can get yourself up to 30% off of your order. It is faith, family, and then football in that order. We use football to create memories and spend time with our family. We don't let football use us. If you want to be guilty by association, you can get a hold of my partner in crime from today for the lock picks. Main Event Mike, you got to call him up at 810-620-2167. And you too can be guilty by association. If you own a business and you want to partner with the Villain Squad, give Mike a call and he can set you up with all that pricing right there. We have our stars program. We have a use for our stars program. So if you are commenting using stars, my wife has a page that is focusing on autism awareness, and she's also providing some resources for parents who have children with special needs. Join the conversation. Remember, nobody wants to hear a blowhard like me talking all day. I want to hear your opinions. I want to hear your thoughts. And I'm going to welcome to the program right now my partner in crime, the Emmy nominated Main Event Mike. What's going on?
Good morning, Russ. Good morning, villains. It's Prediction Thursday.
Oh, we ain't wasting no time either, because we got a lot of stuff we want to get to today. There's so much stuff going on in the NFL. We're going to get right to it. Before we get right to it, let me say hello to everybody here first. Good morning to Henry Gray. Good morning to Dwayne Keene, who always says, let's go Detroit Lions. One Pride Kings of the NFC North Division Championship title, all grit, never back down. 5-1, make it 6-1. Let's go. Good morning to Dale. Good morning to David. Good morning to Davey. Good morning to Broski Bear is in the house. Good morning to Scotty Reno, who is in the house. Good morning to Fred Peterson, who is in the house. Good morning to Maurice. Good morning to Matthew. Good morning, Matthew. Good morning to Mark. And if I hit anybody twice, I'm sorry. You guys are doing awesome this morning. By the way, here's that link. If you use this link right here in the comments is the one that can save you the money. This is the one that takes you right to the championship gear. And even you, broski, you can just use that link and switch off of the Lions page and go to the Bears page and buy something from the Bears. Either way you do that, if you're doing that, thank you, because that is helping us support our page. Single Dads Club in the house. Paul Jones is up. And
super villain.
Let me give you one of these guys right here. Right there. He's Paul Jones and Jeffrey Addison. Thank you for manning our group right there. If you want to get your voice heard, this is the group that you join. This is our group. You can join the conversation on that group. Kneecap biting with Motor City Lions. Jeremy B in the house. He's late to the party, but it's all right. John, Joseph, and then there's Henry already. That's what I love about you, Henry, is you're ready to get to the business. And that's where Mike takes over. Go ahead, Mike.
Henry Gray already making his prediction on the first game. Be sure to follow his lead and put your predictions in the comments. We want to hear. We are making our predictions. Last week, the Villain Squad, we each picked 9 out of 15 games. Very respectable. Russ had a chance to win 11, but he lost both Monday night games. And that actually pushed me up into the tie with Russell at 9 games out of 15. So put yours in the comments. We want to hear what you think. First game on the docket is the Minnesota Vikings at the Los Angeles Rams plus 2.5. Cooper Kupp going to make his return for the Rams. Isn't it interesting that the trade talk we're going to talk about later, the Rams talking about trading Matt Stafford and the Vikings seem to be the number one suitor for him. Really odd. We're going to talk about that later in the show. Trust me, we are. Right now, we're going to make our predictions on it, though. Is the Lions hangover real? Every team that's played the Detroit Lions this year has lost the following week. Now the Rams are going to be at home, and Minnesota gets a short week after playing the Lions. The spread is Rams 2.5 at home. I'm going to believe in this curse, in this hangover thing, and I'm going to take the Rams. But I have to say, that I went back and did some research because I was so intrigued by this Lions hangover thing. Last year, teams that played the Lions won every game after playing the Lions. Every team last year after playing the Lions, they won the next week. So I don't think this curse or this hangover thing is real. I think it's a fluke. I think Minnesota is a really good team, and they're better than the Rams. But that extra 0.5 on the end there, I like the Rams to win this or to lose this game, but still cover the spread. So I'm taking the Rams plus 2.5.
And you know what, I'm gonna do the same thing, and I do believe that it's not. I don't think that the curse is real, Mike, the hangover curse, but I believe that the beginning of the season was a lot of high, intense, emotional games. You know, with the Rams and the Rams and Tampa Bay being like the playoff losses. I think they put a lot of energy and a lot of focus into trying to knock off the Lions, who knocked them off last year. And I think they suffered the week after that. In this case, I'm taking the Rams because I think that Ben Johnson threw out a blueprint on how to beat this Minnesota Vikings defense. And Matt Stafford is the type of quarterback, because he gets rid of the ball so fast, that I think that he's going to be able to do some damage against this Vikings defense. So give me the Rams, give me the points.
All right, so we are both taking the side of the Lions hangover. Leo says Rams will beat the Vikings. Paul Jones, supervillain, says Vikings by 5. And Dwayne Keene thinks the Rams. David thinks the Rams. And then Mark thinks the Rams. And then Jeremy B says Rams, that the Lions hangover is a real thing. Moving on, next game on the docket is the Tennessee Titans at your Detroit Lions. Lions minus 11. Man, that's a lot of points. The Tennessee Titans have beaten the Lions 6 straight. Just like the Cowboys had beaten us 6 straight, just like the Seahawks had beaten us 6 straight, the Titans are next in line that have beaten the Lions 6 straight, and we are going to dominate the Tennessee Titans. Mason Rudolph expected to start for the Titans, so we won't see Mayo boy, mayonnaise in my coffee boy. Will Levis, we will not see him, but Levin is an awful lot of points. I'm going to go ahead and, take the Lions to smoke them by 15. So I'm going to go ahead and take the Lions here.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to suffocate the homerness in me, and I'm going to go ahead and take the Tennessee Titans and all of them points at home. I think it's going to be closer than that.
Because they do showcase one of the best defenses in the NFL as far as points allowed and yards allowed. They are tough. They're tough in the secondary. L'Jarius Sneed and company back there. And they just traded away one of their edge rushers to Seattle, if I'm not mistaken. And Harold Landry is a guy that a lot of Lions fans have been looking for the Lions to trade for. So the Lions are going to get a really good look at edge rusher Harold Landry on Sunday against the Lions, and that will be interesting. But Russ is taking the points. You think the Lions will still win the game, though, right?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I think that they'll be up by 7, 8, 9 points, and they'll be at the end of the game, and they'll just be kneeling on the ball because they've already proven that they're not going to go out classless. They're going to put in their backups when they're blowing a team out, and we ain't going to do that. We're going to go and get the victory and get out of there.
Right. Dwayne says Lions. Henry says Lions. Even Broski Bear says Lions win and they cover the 11. Yeah. Broski Bear even joining on there. Jeremy B says Lions cover by 20. Leo in the house. What's up, Leo? Welcome to the show. Leo says only way the Lions lose is if they allow it. Well, yeah. Mark says Lions win, but I'll take the Titans in the points. He's with you. The Lions are going to win, but they're not going to cover that 11. Paul says Lions by 13. David also says Titans and the points.
See, I'm trying not to bet with my heart, guys. Like when it comes in here, I'm supposed to be giving you guys the advice. If the Lions blow them out, I'm going to be right here singing Forward Down the Field 17 times until my voice is sore, I'm just saying, 11 points is a lot of points in the NFL. And to predict blowouts in the NFL is a hard thing to do.
Yeah, this is a game I wanted to go to, but I just can't swing it after being on vacation last week and going to Nashville the week before that. Just can't make it. So I'm going to have to be in the Lions Den at 1:00 watching this game. And I hope the Lions put it on them. 21-0 at halftime sounds really good to me. Okay. Next up on the docket is the Green Bay Packers at the Jacksonville Jaguars plus 3.5. Jacksonville finally gets off the schneid. They win in London. This team has not lived up to its potential. You look up and down the roster, they should be better than they are. They gave their quarterback $55 million. Green Bay playing good, and Green Bay, one of the best defenses so far out of the gate this NFL season. They are averaging a takeaway per game. That's going to be tough sledding for Jacksonville. That's why they are getting points at home. I think that half point kills it, though. I'm taking the Jaguars in the points.
Half point. Give me the Packers. I'll take the
Again, we disagree. Russ taking Green Bay, giving up. Oh, I'm sorry. See, you've got 3.5. I have 4 here. Let me change my thing here. That just shows you that since last night, the point spread has moved a half a point. It was Green Bay by 4. Now it's only 3.5, meaning people are loading up on the Jaguars because the point spread has come down. So I like your call, Russ, to take Green Bay in this game with the point spread moving in the other direction.
Yeah, this is going to be a blowout. This is going to be a signature win for Jordan Love right here because they these are the teams that they should beat. And yeah.
Right. Davey thinks Green Bay. Fred says Packers. Shake my head. Yeah, well, they got a pretty soft schedule, seems like, some of these games. Mark says Packers win, but I'll take the Jags and the points. Leo says Packers all the way. And Jeremy doesn't want to admit it, but he's going to take the Packers and give up the 3.5 points.
Oh.
Next game on the docket is the Baltimore Ravens at the dumpster fire Cleveland Browns plus 8.5. The Deshaun Watson going out with an Achilles injury. Shame on you, Cleveland Browns, who cheered for that injury. But as we predicted on this very show, when Deshaun Watson was acquired, he would never amount to anything in Cleveland. He would never make a Super Bowl in Cleveland. They'd be lucky to make the playoffs with this guy. He's a cancer. He's bad karma. He's bad juju. I think Baltimore destroys Cleveland and they win by 2 touchdowns. I'm taking the Ravens on the road.
Gosh, man, it's a division game. Give me the Browns and the points.
It is a division game. That's a great call out, Russ.
Comment here to Jags aren't without talent. You need to look closer. So let me do something real quick here just for Broski. Nope. Still, give me the Packers minus the points. Okay.
Besides that, Russ, didn't I preface it with up and down the roster? They got some good players and they should be better. Didn't I say that? Pretty sure I said that.
Yep.
I love it.
At least but you know what? At least I did what he said, and I'm going to go. I went ahead and I looked closer.
Henry Gray says the Ravens. Jeremy says the Ravens. Davey thinks it's Baltimore as well. Dale, he's taking the Jags with me. He said the Jags win by 3. So you're getting 3.5 there, Dale. I like it. Leo says tough one. Can go either way. I say Ravens, they need it. I don't see why anyone thinks this one's a tough one. Baltimore is flying high, running the ball like on a historic pace. Cleveland has no quarterback. Anytime things are always equal, like it's a division game and the two teams are really good, I always go with who has the better quarterback. And in this game, I don't think there's any question it's Lamar Jackson. So 8.5. I'm taking the Ravens. Russ thinks 8.5 is too many points. He's taking Cleveland. Broski's saying that he needs to take a closer look before he makes a call on the game.
Okay. Well, that's fine. You just gave me a good segue to do something stupid and funny for the show. So
right. I like that. I laughed. I loved it. Fred says Watson is so bad you can't even win the Super Bowl with him when you're playing Madden.
Oh, wow. That's going to go down. That might be the worst trade in history.
For sure. Look what it's done to Texans. Look what it's done to Houston, too. Totally changed the trajectory of their franchise. We got a lot to talk about today, so we're going to keep rolling through these games. The next one is the Indianapolis Colts in a division game at the Houston Texans -5. Houston has not been playing well. I look for them to rebound here. I'm going to take Houston. I'm going to give up the points.
Yeah. I mean, it's either Houston hasn't been playing well, or they're just not as good as what everybody thought that they were. But I do think that they're as good as everybody thinks that they are, and I think they're going to smoke the Indianapolis Colts. Go ahead and give me the Texans, and I'll lay the points.
Right, and let's look at those losses by the Texans. They've lost to the NFC North. So maybe it's not what the Texans aren't doing, but the competition that they're playing, the toughest division in football, is what they drew this year, and so far they have not fared well.
Yep.
So
this is the realness right here. This is the best division in football.
That's right.
You're gonna lose a couple games there.
Right. Jeremy says Texans. I think everybody's going Texans. Davey, Texans. Dwayne, Texans.
So we can collectively
David,
lose
Texans.
together, guys.
Broski says that Houston stinks on the road, but it's tough at home, and they will be at home against a division foe. And I don't think 5 is that much. If this spread were 7, I think I'd still take Houston. So I really like it at 5. Next game is the New York Jets at the New England Patriots. Their former coach, Robert Saleh, now with the Green Bay Packers. If anybody didn't hear that, Robert Saleh now, get this, an offensive consultant with the Packers. A defensive coach who's an offensive consultant with the Packers. Why? Why? That makes no sense. Well, here's why. Matt LaFleur and Robert Saleh are buddies from way back. They shared a dorm room at Central Michigan University. They were assistants together coming up through the ranks. It was Robert Saleh who got Matt LaFleur his first coaching job with the Texans. Now Robert Saleh gets sent out on his ass on the street, and it's Matt LaFleur there to return the favor, pick him up, and give him a job. So Robert Saleh, no longer with the Jets, and the Jets travel to New England, probably the worst team in the league. New England Patriots coach Gerard Mayo came out a couple days ago and said that his team was soft. Nobody likes to be called soft. NFL football players take the offense of this. I don't know if the Patriots are going to mutiny on him over this. Is it meant to motivate him? Bill Belichick actually came out right after and says, look, these players are not soft. I watched the game. These guys are playing their ass off. Well, maybe Belichick's just saying that because a lot of them are his players. They're his players. And Mayo calling them soft. This could go either way. They could either be motivated by this or they could turn the other way and mutiny on this. I believe they're a dumpster fire. The Jets need to get right with Devontae Adams now in the fold. I'm going to take the Jets and give up the points on the road.
Jets, Jets. Not today. The Jets are a dumpster fire in this, and I can't believe that New England's getting 7 points in this professional football game, and the Jets want to blame everybody else. Give me New England and give me the points.
Wow. Russell Wayne taking the 1-7 Patriots.
Well, I, like I didn't remember that there's points that go along with this. I don't.
That's right, and that's what Mark is saying. Jets win, but I'll take the Pats and the points. He's with you. Jeremy says Jets are giving 7 in a divisional game. He'll take the Patriots as well. And then we got Henry Gray says Patriots. Maurice says the Patriots are going to win the game outright.
Whoa.
I mean, everybody thinks the Jets are a dumpster fire. At some point, they got to get right. Leo says, I flipped the coin, and it says the Jets. I like that, Leo. Thank you. Dwayne Keene is on board with the Patriots, too. Paul Jones says, I'll take a meteor strike in this one. let both teams lose. Next game on the slate is the Philadelphia Eagles at the Cincinnati Bengals -2. Bengals favored in this game. I don't know. I'm going to take Philadelphia. I think that with Jaden Daniels getting injured, the Philadelphia Eagles see an opening here that they might be able to get back to the top of the division. And coming off, they've had some tough wins this year. Even when they win, they look terrible. And it's a lot like last year when they went out to 10-1. They hadn't even played their best game yet, and they were 10-1. So they find ways to win. Sirianni's on the hot seat. I think they're going to go into Cincinnati, and they're going to pull off the upset. This is main event Mike's bold prediction here. Philly +2 points.
Yeah, that's a bold prediction, but yeah, I mean, you don't even really have to convince me of all that. Philadelphia is way too talented, man. We were talking about how these guys were Super Bowl contenders. They have so much talent on this team that they should have a lot more wins right now. They've been underperforming all year long. So give me Philly and the points.
Wow, Russ Wayne agreeing with me. Leo agrees too. Philly should squeeze by in this one. So that makes the points even more appetizing. But I like Mark's call here. Bengals in the points. Burrow goes off in this game. Well, remember, Mark, you're giving up 2 if you're taking the Bengals. You're giving up 2 points. And now that we're past the quarter way mark of the season, maybe the Bengals will start playing football like they normally do. They're always notoriously slow starters. They did get a win last week, but this Philly team is going to be tough. So, and they've got a good secondary.
Cincinnati can't run the ball. I mean, that's the thing. If they can run the ball, then maybe Joe will get back into that mold.
That's such a good call, Russ. The Bengals not able to run the ball, and Philadelphia can run the ball. That's why I'm taking the Eagles in this one. All right, next, Atlanta Falcons division game going down to Tampa. Plus 2.5. The Falcons are favored by 2.5 against the Buccaneers on the road. Why? Well, because Chris Godwin is out for the season with a dislocated ankle, and Mike Evans, nursing a hamstring injury, may not play. The only wide receiver they have really is Jalen McMillan, a rookie from Washington. They have nothing downfield now for Baker Mayfield. Cade Otton now is your number 1 receiving threat. That means Atlanta's going to put 8 men in the box, maybe 9 men in the box, stop Bucky Irving and Rashad White, make Baker Mayfield beat you downfield with no one to throw to. That's why Atlanta's favored in this game. I have to defer to you on this one, Russ. This is such a hard call, such a hard game to pick, I think. Hardest game on the slate, in my opinion, to pick. I'm going to let you pick first on this one.
I don't think it's hard at all. I think the Falcons are going to blow them out because they don't have any. I mean, you can't just lose, Mike Evans and Godwin and all your best playmakers and just be like, wow, no, next man up. That's too much. That's too much. Paid all your guys that. I'm going to take Atlanta minus 2.5 all day long.
Okay. So
I'm debating on whether that's going to be my lock.
I'm going to check what the villains have to say here. Jeremy says Atlanta. Davey says Atlanta. Henry says Atlanta. Mark says Atlanta. Here's one. Leo says Tampa. They have better talent. I don't know about that one. Broski says, I'll take the Falcons in a low-scoring affair. I love that call. The over-under 46. So Broski thinks it's going to go under 46. If you take the under, that's plus money, folks. That's plus 120. So Joseph with Atlanta. Paul says Atlanta either. Good call here by Jeremy B, who says Evans is said to be out for the year. The hamstring injury may require surgery. Ugh. David going out on a limb and taking the Bucks. I'm with you, David. I think Tampa finds a way to keep it close. I like the 2.5. I love home underdogs. So I'm taking the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Next, Arizona Cardinals at the Miami Dolphins. Tua Tagovailoa going to play. They say he's got a couple more hurdles to cover yet through practice today and practice tomorrow. But if everything goes right, Tua will play. This is amazing to me that Tua will play. The guy cannot get hit again. He can't get hit again. How are you going to go out and play pro football when you can't take a hit? I don't understand this. I think this is a bad move. This could go either one of two ways. Either it's a disaster, he gets hit, he leaves the game, probably to never return to the game of football, or he rallies the team being out there. The crowd is energized. A lot of people show up to the stadium to see Tua's last game, and they win this game going away because they are an offensive power when Tua's out there. I'm taking Miami. I think Tua's going to play. I'm giving up 3.5 points, so it's going to be a tough one. What do you got, Russ?
I'm going to go with you for a different reason, because if you're going to take Miami, here's my thought process is that if you're going to take Miami, you think they're going to win the game, they're going to blow these guys out. Because it's either the offense is going to start really humming and working really good and they're going to just smoke them, or it's just going to be, like you said, he's going to get hit. He's going to go out of the game. And I think that Arizona wins the game if Tua goes out. But I'm going to take Miami in the minus 3.5 because I don't think he's going to go out. And I think Tua's going to play really well in this game.
Mark says Cards win, but I'll take Miami in the points. Well, if the Cards win, Mark, Miami's given up the 3.5. So if the Cards win, there's no points involved. You lose if you take the Cards. Jeremy says he's taking Arizona. Joseph's taking Arizona. Leo flipped a coin, and he says it's the Dolphins. And I love this one here. Cap for life. I live in Miami. Don't hold your breath. Dolphins fan there telling you to take the Cardinals. Finns are at home, but that 3.5 points. David, do you like that? I don't know. All right. Broski says, I'm not touching this game. No comment. That is a tough one. I love it. Cap for life says, Dolphins are suspect until proven different. Remember, Tua was one play from going 0-2 before the concussion. Wow, that's such a great call.
And the Cardinals aren't suspect?
Right. The Cardinals are the most streaky up and down team so far this year. They'll win one week, smoke the Rams, come back and get beat badly by a lesser team. So, that Arizona, you never know what team's going to show up. Dwayne says Arizona. Dale says Arizona. Paul says Arizona. So a lot of villains not riding with us on this one, Russ. You said you're taking Miami also?
Yeah, I think they're going to blow out the Cardinals.
Okay.
Cardinals aren't good either. I mean, all the stuff that you guys are saying about Miami, you could say about the Cardinals too. I mean,
right.
I heard that, he was trying to tell Kyler Murray what to do over there in Arizona, and Kyler got short with him.
Who was that? Jonathan Gannon?
You missed it.
Oh,
I think Kyler got short with him.
Kyler got short with him. Don't get short with me, Master Frodo.
Yeah, you don't want to get short.
All right. Before we move to the next game, I do got to give Cap for Life's next comment. This Miami, Arizona, the bipolar bowl. Love it. All right. Okay, next, Buffalo at the Seattle Seahawks +3. Here are the Seahawks at home getting 3 points. I'm sorry, folks, but I am completely done betting against Josh Allen. For the rest of the season, I will be taking Buffalo to cover or to get. I just cannot bet against this guy. He burns me every single time I bet against him. When he comes to Ford Field, I'm going to be very, very interested to see what the point spread is on that game. But for the remainder of the time, I'm riding with Josh Allen in every game until the playoffs because I don't think he'll advance far there. But they do get Amari Cooper now. Scores his first touchdown from Josh Allen. That could be dangerous, having Amari Cooper there in Buffalo. James Cook expected to play. I'm taking Buffalo on the road, giving up 3.
Oh my gosh, Mike, I love you and I have been agreeing a lot lately, and Josh Allen is so freaking good. Everybody was like, "Oh, I don't know what Josh Allen's going to do. He has no receivers to throw to. He still kills it." And now you're going to give him Amari Cooper? Oh gosh, I think they're going to embarrass the Seahawks.
Really embarrassed. So you're taking Buffalo as well.
Yeah, -3 ain't enough.
One thing about this game, Buffalo has a hard time stopping the run. Will the Seahawks run the ball? They have 2 great backs, a decent offensive line. They can run the ball. If they run the ball, I think that not only can Seattle cover the spread, Seattle can win this game at home if they commit to the run. Yep. Mike McDonald is on the hot seat right now with the Seattle fans anyway. I don't know about with ownership, but with the fans, he's on the hot seat. After starting 3-0, they have now nosedive after that because they went away from the run. Geno Smith averages more yards and attempts than any quarterback in the NFL. And you have Kenneth Walker. What are you doing? So if Seattle gets their head out of their ass and runs the ball, I think they can win this game. But in the meantime, I'm not betting against Josh Allen anymore. Let's see who we got. Dale says the crowd's going to figure into it. Seattle in the 12th man. Joseph says heavy dose of Walker. I think for sure that's got to be the key to win.
It has to be.
And Jeremy says K9 has been very inconsistent this year. Only Spartan fans call him K9, I'll have you know. Amari Cooper caught a TD after his 203rd career drop. Okay, all right. Leo says Buffalo. Henry says Buffalo as well. You're watching the NFL. You are watching the Lions Villain Report on the Villain Squad Network, brought to you by NFLshop.com. We do have a link in the comments where it'll take you directly to the Lions Championship, NFC North Division Championship gear. We'll take you right there if you follow the link, or you can scan that QR code that you see on your screen, go to NFL Shop and get any NFL swag. You can save up to 30% off between now and November 1st if you leverage the power of the villain and use our code or our link. Plus, it helps our page a little bit. You know, you're going to buy something anyway. Moving on. Next is the Dumpster Fire Saints at the LA Chargers. I watched the Denver-New Orleans games. I watched the whole game last week, and New Orleans looked like they quit. They looked like they didn't give a crap. Dennis Allen will be the next coach fired, I should say. At some point, Dennis Allen's gone. I actually called Dennis Allen being fired last year. I thought during the offseason they'd make a change, but they didn't, and now they're paying the price for it. They started 2-0, put up 44 on the Cowboys. Derek Carr goes down. Maybe I've been too hard on Derek Carr because since he's been gone, this team is absolutely stinks. Spencer Rattler comes in off the practice squad, has not looked good. He's had flashes of good, but nothing to lead an NFL team against a Jim Harbaugh team. I'm going to take the Chargers here to win by 2 touchdowns.
Ooh, man. I hate these points like that. I hate that many points, and the Chargers being that much. And I didn't watch the New Orleans Saints. Maybe they are that bad now, but I can't pass up that many points, man. You still got Alvin Kamara on that team. You're not putting out that bum Derek Carr. And yeah, I think that the New Orleans will lose, but the Chargers ain't going to blow them out.
Wow. Okay.
So I'll take New Orleans into points.
All right. So even though with this comment with Jeremy, before we lock it in, Russ, the Saints have lost back-to-back by 20 points or more. You think that 7 is enough?
Well, yeah, if you just lost 2 back-to-back 20-point games, don't you think that somebody's in that room going, all right, let's figure something out here. We're a professional football team. You don't get blown out 3 games in a row, or else you shouldn't be a professional football team.
Right, and maybe that's someone who's saying something is Demario Davis, captain of the defense, an all-world linebacker back there. Maybe he's in there firing him up.
Hey, Jeremy, just pick your game, and don't be criticizing everybody else's picks. Just pick the game. You don't have to give me the reason why I'm wrong on every single one. Okay, Jeremy just agrees with me. Okay, cool.
Dwayne King thinks it's the Chargers. Jonathan agrees with you. He agrees with you, Russ. He's taking the Saints on this one. Pat for Life says Saints are toast.
Some redheaded stepchild sitting over in the corner going, I've got to take the Saints. Like, it's 7 points is a lot to give up. I've lost a whole bunch of these this year on like a half a point. I mean, the Chargers might win by 6.
Right.
And guess what? I win. Like,
Right. Next game on the docket, Kansas City, 2-time defending champions at the Las Vegas Raiders +10. Looks like Aiden O'Connell at home against the Chiefs. Divisional game. This is a tough one, Russ. Again, I'm going to defer to you, and I'm going to wait and see what the villains say in the chat and see to make my pick. I got to kick it over to you. Chiefs at the Raiders +10 points. Now they're going to have DeAndre Hopkins in the fold.
Okay, so I'll make it real quick for you. Give me the Raiders and give me the points. This is a divisional game, guys. The Raiders always play. The Chiefs will probably lose the game. If you look back at the history, it's like
right.
The godlike Kansas City Chiefs. They're just rolling and rolling, and every year it's like the Raiders are like, yeah, done. Like, shut up. Like, they come in and beat them.
So you're taking the Raiders in the points.
The Chiefs was? You know who the last quarterback to beat the Chiefs was? Aiden O'Connell.
Good call. And I should say, I had said 10 points. It's actually 9.5. The point spread has moved a half point since last night. From 10 to 9.5 means people are loading up on the Chiefs. And it's always smart to go the other way, like Russell Wayne just did. He's taken the Raiders +9.5 at home. That's a tough one, man. I'm going to go ahead and run with the Chiefs. because I have Kelsey and Mahomes on my fantasy team, and I haven't won a single week yet because of it. They've got to get right at some point. Hopefully DeAndre Hopkins is this shot in the arm that they need to get right. I'm going to go ahead and take the Chiefs. So again, this week more than any week, Russ, we've gone against each other. More than any week so far, we have split on our picks. So I love that. David says Raiders. Davey says Raiders. Mark says Chiefs win, but that's too many points. So he's taking the Raiders. Jeremy agrees with me. Take the Chiefs and the points. Cap for Life says don't overthink it. KC is undefeated. Plus the Raiders have no receivers or defense. Great point.
I gotta respond to this, Russ. We have to toughen you up. Let me explain something to you, broski. When you do a show and you put a show out there, you have something like Main Event Mike, who is the guy that's going to give you the information, and I'm what you call a color commentator, which I'm going to be colorful on everything that is out there. So my job, I am doing by you saying that I need to toughen up. I don't need to toughen up. That means you're telling me I'm doing my job really, really good. Because
That's right.
I'm the color
That's
guy.
Right. That's
so
right.
You can toughen up.
Right. And we actually, that's right. And we actually pay Jeremy B to come into the comments and piss Russ off.
and Jeremy says that he'd do it for free.
Right.
We play well on
Chief,
this show, I think.
Chiefs and the refs cover the spread is what Fred says. Leo agrees with me. Chiefs, this is where they turn it. This is where their season turns. They're already undefeated. Do they need to turn anything? I don't know. All right. Next up on the docket here, it is the Carolina Panthers at the Denver Broncos. Denver riding high right now. They look like they're showing some promise. Every rep Bo Nix takes, he looks better and better. Andy Dalton, quarterback for the Carolina Panthers, involved in a car accident this week. And Bryce Young will start on the road against Denver. And anytime I bet Carolina this year, I've lost. But I'm going to take Carolina this time. 9.5 is a lot of points in the NFL. I'm going to take Bryce Young and the points because I'm an idiot.
Okay, cool. I'm glad that you said it. Give me Broncos minus 9.5.
There you go. I threw you a softball there. Mark thinks Broncos. David thinks Broncos. Moving on. The Chicago Bears, broski, at the Washington Commanders +3. Now, this one is really tough. Okay, it's really, really tough. Commanders getting the points at home because Marcus Mariota may start for the game. Jaden Daniels with a rib injury this week. Today and tomorrow, it'll be very interesting to see if he practices. If Jaden Daniels practices, I think the Washington Commanders will win this game. If Marcus Mariota plays, I think they will lose this game. This is a tough one. I'm taking Chicago Bears because we just don't know if Jaden Daniels is going to play. A rib injury, and that'll suck if Jaden Daniels doesn't play. We pointed to this game in May when the schedule came out that the number 1 pick, Caleb Williams, versus the number 2 pick, Jaden Daniels. This would be a great game to see who's the front runner. It would be such a shame if Jaden Daniels doesn't get to face off against Caleb in this matchup. I'm going to go ahead and take Chicago, and I'm going to lay 3 points because I think their secondary is just really tough. They have a good defense in Chicago, and I just don't see Marcus Mariota being able to navigate it for a win.
Yeah, I'm teeter-tottering on this one, and it has to be with the home. You know, it's due with where it's at. And then here's this other thing where you don't know if Jaden Daniels is going to play. And if I knew Jaden Daniels was going to play, I would take the 3 points easily. But I think that's why it's 3 points, is because you don't know whether he's going to play. And that line will move if they say he is playing. It'll move one way or the other. So give me Chicago -3. I think that they're ready to go take this step, and I may eat my words if Daniels plays.
You know, you just brought up something really good. I'm actually going to change my pick here, Russ. I'm going to take the Commanders, and I'll tell you why. What you just said, if Jaden Daniels wasn't hurt and they knew he was playing, would the Commanders still be getting 3 against the Bears? No, they would not. They might even be favored in this game. Somebody in our comments had a great comment here. Where'd it go? Oh, right here, Leo. Good call out. Rib injuries are the worst to play with. It hurts when you laugh. It hurts when you cough. It hurts when you sneeze. So they are tough to play with. But he's a rookie. Remember when you were that age, Leo? You were invincible. You're bulletproof. I don't think a little rib cartilage injury is going to stop him from playing in this game. I think Jaden Daniels is going to play, and I'm getting 3 at home with Jaden Daniels. Yeah, I'm going to take the Commanders in this one. David agrees with me. Dale agrees with me. Henry says Bears.
Homers. Am I the only one taking? Am I the only one taking the Bears now?
No, Henry's got the Bears.
Okay.
And Broski, of course.
Broski's going to take the Bears in every freaking game.
Bears defense will hurt poor, scrawny Jaden.
Oh, wow.
Leo says still sticking with the Bears.
He calls me a homer. Broski calls me a homer, and it's just like, I mean, Jaden Daniels is having a year.
Jeremy says take the Commanders. They're at home. Broski says it doesn't matter if Mariota plays or Jaden Daniels plays. The Bears will win and cover. The Commodores' defense is trash. Bears coming off a bye. It's the Commodores? What? No, I'll tell you what, not if Lionel Richie plays.
Just my imagination.
if Lionel Richie comes in and says hello. David Cadlick says Bears D hits hard. That's true. One of the best defenses in the league this year. Moving on.
Bears. I got the Bears as an ascending team here, and this
Sunday
is
night game. This is going to be an interesting one. The Dallas Cowboys travel to San Francisco. Niners -4. Debo's out. He's got pneumonia. Christian McCaffrey not ready to come back yet. Ricky Pearsall, the rookie, after being shot in the chest, will actually play. Amazing story there. To be shot in the chest, bullet went in the front and out the back, missed all the major organs. That was just a few months ago. And he's going to play. Broski, the Commodores and their Lionel Richie QB going to get hurt.
Yeah, a little too much on that spin move right there with the snap.
It's good stuff. I'll tell you what. The Cowboys seem to be in free fall. Their owner is on the radio bashing the team and bashing the coach. They really don't have that much talent. Look at all the players that they lost. And who did they replace them with? Nobody's. I'm taking San Francisco here. I just couldn't place a bet with the Cowboys right now, the way this franchise is.
Yeah, both of these teams are in the same spot where it's kind of like they've underperformed. They're not where they're supposed to be, but I believe that the San Francisco can bring themselves out of it and that they have depth and that they can do it. I don't believe at all in the Dallas Cowboys and being able to resurrect something or do something with depth because they let their players control their team. They let those guys get contracts, and you just didn't become a general manager. Jerry Jones needs to shut his hole, and I will take the San Francisco 49ers -14.
Love this call. Skip Bayless went off on a show that the Cowboys will have comeback games. Skip Bayless is an idiot. San Francisco takes the win. Has Skip Bayless ever been right about anything? Not that I know of. He's always wrong.
Fine, Mike.
One thing that does scare me about this one, though, Russ, is the 4 points. I could totally see Dallas keeping this game close the way that the Niners are depleted.
Did you notice what I said, Mike? Did you notice that I said I'll take the San Francisco 49ers -14?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. -14. The 49ers are going to mess the Cowboys up right here.
You think so?
Oh, yeah. It's at home, too, isn't it? Isn't it in San Fran?
It is. The game of descending franchises, Broski says. That's a good call. Cap for Life says Niners and Cowboys both banged up. I'm taking the Niners. Dak has a problem versus San Fran. That's a great call out. The Dak's history against the Niners, not good. Yeah.
Is this true? Is CeeDee Lamb says that he wants a trade
after getting signed to that huge contract?
Yeah. And that's like, really, dude? Really? You shouldn't have. You should have thought about that before you signed the contract.
Oh, Henry Gray, the only guy in here taking the Cowboys. Here's a good call out, Broski. Are Parsons and Lawrence back? That could make a big difference. Yeah, I don't know. I think Micah Parsons was expected to be back this week. I don't know. I wish I did know, Broski. Thanks for calling that out, and I apologize that I don't have that information. I absolutely should have had that information. Now, I'd like to start something new here, Russ. The Monday night game, we're not going to pick until Monday's show when we preview the game. If you're okay with that, Russ.
I'm good.
You're okay with that? So that concludes our predictions. Now it's time for our lock picks, brought to you by the NFLshop.com. Villain Squad Network is an official marketing partner of NFLshop.com. Lock picks brought to you by NFLshop.com. Here we go. Lock pick, Russ. I'm going to make you go first.
Oh, you're going to make me go first?
I'm going to make you go first because right now you are 4 and hold on.
4 and 4
on my other paper. I think you're 3 and 3. Excuse me, you're 4 and 3 in your lock picks.
4 and 3. It's not very good this year. Russ ain't hitting it this year, but this is a division game right here. You may be surprised with this, but I'm going to take the Raiders.
Wow.
In the 9.5 points in the division game at home. I'm going to pick them to lose that game a little bit closer than 9.5.
So lock pick for Russ is the Raiders plus 9.5.
Yep. I still think they're going to lose the game, but I think they're going to be in there tough. And I think Max Crosby's going to give he's going to show out in this game in the losing effort.
I'm taking the low-hanging fruit. My lock pick is going to be the Baltimore Ravens minus 8.5 at the Cleveland Browns. I think the Baltimore is just going to come in, steamroll them. They might even be able to pull their starters by the second half. I know Cleveland's got a good defense, but they've been getting beat by lesser teams than Baltimore. So I'm taking the Ravens as a lock.
Oh, my gosh.
You know what? I do like this call by Jeremy, who says the Lions are his lock. Minus 11 is a lot of points, but I think I like that call. I think I like the Lions as a lock. I'm going to go ahead and stick with my pick, but I do like that call. I'm sticking with the Ravens.
Oh, gosh. A lot of crazy point. When I'm looking in here, I can't believe how many blowouts that they're predicting. Because you're talking about 11.5, 8.5 for Baltimore. You're talking 7 for New England. You're talking 7 for New Orleans, 9.5 for the Raiders, 9.5 for the Carolina Panthers, 6.5 for the Giants on Monday night. It's like lots of points this week that they're laying for teams. So you have to make a lot of conscious decisions, not just who's going to win and lose the game, but can they get into that window where you can win the money?
David says the Packers is a lock. Green Bay at Jacksonville minus 3.5. I don't know about that, David. I don't know about that half point against a team coming off a London win. Jaguars might get right against the Packers. Something has to happen.
So I wanted to touch on a little something here, and we're probably we still didn't do it in a lot of time. We got 5 minutes left, but Stafford to the Vikings. I've heard this all week, and then they said that there was no anything around it, but I put it on here just because it punches you in the face. Oh, wait a minute, they're playing each other. So is there any chance that Stafford stays or leaves on the plane and goes back to Minnesota? Or is that just smoke?
Right. I don't know. I'm totally miffed by this. I mean,
me too.
It means the Rams are giving up their season, and I don't understand why the Vikings would even entertain this when Darnold's playing so good. I mean, they lost one game to a really good team by 2 points, and you've got J.J. McCarthy waiting in the wings. I just don't understand this. There are other teams that would use Matt Stafford, like Cleveland, rather than the Minnesota Vikings. So I'm completely miffed by this, but I can tell you this. This is not some knucklehead putting it out on the internet. This is actual smoke, folks, around the NFL. The Vikings and the Rams are actually in talks about trading Matt Stafford. So really interesting. I don't want him back in the NFC North. I don't want him throwing to Justin Jefferson. So I'm keeping my fingers crossed that this goes away. But the Vikings will get a real good look at him tonight.
Yeah, and I just don't think that because I was talking to you last night when we had this discussion, and I brought up Casey Keenum, right? So they traded and they got Kirk Cousins to come to Minnesota after Casey Keenum had a career year. It was crazy. Now, I am not saying that Casey Keenum is as good as Kirk Cousins, and I am not saying that Sam Darnold is as good as Matt Stafford. But what I am saying is that was the greatest version of Casey Keenum you've ever seen, right? It was a career year. I mean, the numbers were right there, and the very best version Casey Keenum could ever be. Is that as good as the average version of Kirk Cousins? And I think that they kind of proved that because he went deep into the playoffs with Casey Keenum, and then you go deep with Kirk Cousins. Is this the same thing? Sam Darnold's playing good. Even in this loss that he had, he was incredibly efficient. The only interception was a great play by Brian Branch, where he jumped the route. Outside of that, he played a good game. So you really want to trade for Matt Stafford right now? Do you think it's going to make that big of a difference in what you've already gotten, which is a quarterback that's playing out of his mind better than you thought that he could play?
Yeah. Mark says Stafford isn't going anywhere. Yeah, I would be really surprised if he does as well. Fred says, frankly, I wouldn't mind the Lions trading for Stafford for a 6-rounder to be our backup, just so we can boo him in every game.
That is my quarterback there, baby.
Mark says Stafford retires a Ram. He only planned on playing another year or two anyways. Yeah, but if you had to go home to Kelly every night, yeah, he might play a couple more years.
Yeah. Oh, no love for Kelly. Boo them kids.
Boo them kids.
Kids, yeah. One other thing I wanted to get to was what we touched on yesterday with these, like the Crosby rumors. Now, I know there were some comments in here that were talking like it's already a foregone conclusion. He was on this interview and he said that he's a Raider for life. So I went back and I listened to the whole interview more than 5 times. I went back. What I wanted to hear was this definitive evidence that he's not coming here. Now, when someone comes up there and says, I'm not trying to leave. Right? You hear that? This is the best I got these quotes. I'm not trying to leave. I don't have 100% control over whether that happens or not. Those are the two main lines that I got out of that whole thing. Everything else is BS smoke. If Max Crosby was getting traded, he sure as hell wouldn't go on to a podcast and go, hey, Mike, I know I've heard these rumors about the Lions. I sure wish Brad Holmes would call now because this dumpster fire of a Raiders team, I can't wait to get out of here. Holy crap, I've been talking to him for 2 weeks. When are they going to send me to the Lions? Nobody ever does that. He did exactly what somebody would do right before they were getting traded, which is take all responsibility off of the table and say, I really want to be here. I really do. I signed a big, long contract for $25 million a year. I do want to be a Raider for life. I want this. I'm not trying to leave.
Mm-hmm. And I need to call Jeremy out on this one. Adam Schefter interviewed a part owner, Big Shea, a big part owner of the Raiders, told him he's not going anywhere. No, that's not what he said, Jeremy.
I'm not even going to discuss this, Jeremy, unless you.
What he said, Jeremy. Let's get this straight though. What the part owner said was, "I don't envision us trading Max Crosby." By the way, those are the exact same words that John Schneider said 2 years or 3 years ago. I do not envision us trading Russell Wilson. In fact, the fact that he used those words tells me they're probably going to trade him. It's just trying to find the right price. I think this week is huge for Cleveland. This week is huge for the Raiders. Cleveland trades Amari Cooper. The Raiders trade Devontae Adams. Next week is the trade deadline on the 5th of November. This week, if these teams win or lose, is going to go a long way, especially the Cincinnati Bengals. If the Cincinnati Bengals lose this week, you might see Trey Hendrickson getting signed. If there's some hope, if they win this week, if those teams win this week, they're clinging to salvage a season, and they might not be sellers at the trade deadline. I got to take off, guys. It's been great being here. Russ, take care. God bless you all.
That's Main Event Mike right there. And you can join Main Event Mike each and every Monday night at 7 p.m. for his own show, the Main Event Football Show. And we're going to be going over all of the games for that day. And just so you know, Jeremy, I don't believe that the Lions are going to trade for Max Crosby. I don't believe it. But I have been shamed so many times within our messenger, within comments for just suggesting the same thing that everybody else is suggesting, which is the Lions need to trade for a pass rusher, and they're going to be opening up every door. And there's nothing that's off the table. None of these players are available. So it's like you're going to have to give something up to get something. And I honestly believe that whole trade thing, I believe they are going to trade for somebody. I'll go on record and say that 100%. Like, and if they were going to do the big move and try to get that guy that's a lateral move for Hutchinson, and you're not trying to just get a couple guys, I think Garrett's more of a possibility than Max because of what's in the contract. God, I was looking at this contract yesterday, and it's like, I want to bring it up. Let me get in here for the Browns, and it's like this contract, even though it may cost a lot of draft capital to get Myles Garrett here, the contract is actually doable here. When you look at Myles Garrett, you're coming in here, his money this year, he's got a cap number of $10 million, and he's got a base salary of $862,000. In 2021, his base salary, I mean, he's gotten all of this guaranteed money out of the way. This contract is awesome. Actually, not right there. My bad. One we're in this year. My bad. I'm sorry. $1.2 million is the base salary, and they got the cap number right there. But $1.2 million in a base salary. All the guaranteed money is out of this contract. And they are the ones that would have to handle the dead cap money if they were to trade him. And this is the type of contract that you could extend and actually gain cap relief in there. And the thought of having Myles Garrett and Aiden Hutchinson on the same team for 3 years just opens up that window. And regardless of what you think of, F them picks or whatever, the Lions are in an F them picks in a mode right now where they're in F those picks because they have enough players. The core of the Lions team is set for the next 3 years. You don't have to. Am I right? Max is younger than Myles. Yes. Myles Garrett is 29 years old. And let's see. Let's get the Raiders up in here. Hey, Max is younger, but the contract is not quite as friendly as so yeah, he's a couple years younger. And but that's all right, man. We have to turn over every stone when it comes to something like this. Like, and if you know, and you followed my show at all, you know that up until Hutchinson got injured, I was in a draft and develop mode. Like, I did not want the Lions to go out and get a guy at the trade deadline to get a pass rusher opposite of Hutchinson, because I actually believe that draft and develop would work on the other side, because you could show a whole bunch of different looks. You'd still have Hutchinson, you still got Reader, you still got Aleem, but all of the other guys that they have that are depth are good depth pieces. I like Ukwu. I like Josh Pascal. I like Levi on the edge as a supplement to what was going on. But none of those guys are starters. And maybe they could develop into starters, but we're not in a development year, guys. We're not in a development year. The Lions have to go out and get somebody. And they already know that. They've said as much. They're going to go out and trade for somebody. But who are they going to trade for? I believe Broski is right here. Trades will happen after the November 3rd games. And that's the truth. And the main reason is, if you don't need the guy to win right now, which the Lions don't, even if they dropped even 1 or 2 games before the trade deadline, they would still have a good enough record to fight and remain in playoff contention. So they are not in a hurry to go out there and trade for a guy and pay them game checks. So to Broski's points right here, the trades are going to happen after November 3rd, because the teams want the previous team to pay for as much of the salaries they possibly can. If you're going to pay for Max Crosby, or you're going to pay for Myles Garrett, or you're going to pay for Zadarius Smith, you want the Browns and the Raiders to pay for most of that salary. Lions have already proven that they can win without Hutchinson. And, Tennessee, that's a team that isn't doing very good. Good show. Main event, Mike from Mark. Bye, all. Have some painting to do. Thank you, Leo, for joining the show. Don't get sacked by your wife. If you are smart, you claim loyalty until you sign on another dotted line. And that is the 100% truth. That is it right there. That's the main thing. That's why when he says stuff like, I'm not trying to leave, what he's really saying is, I am not trying to devalue the trade value. Because if I come out, Max Crosby, and I say, I want to get out of, and publicly say that you want to get out of LA or Las Vegas, then your value will go down. And I am sure that the management from the Raiders had went and said, don't talk publicly about this. Don't say anything. And he knows that. It's a PR type of thing. So even if they were going to believe him and he was going to get traded, they sure as hell wouldn't give any signs for it. And if they do trade Max Crosby, he has something that we call plausible deniability, which is like, I didn't want to, you see, I didn't want to leave and they traded me. He's not trying to, pee off all of his friends that are in Las Vegas. Mark says all reports are it will take 2 first rounder and a late rounder for Crosby or Garrett. And it's worth it. If those guys are stupid enough to let go of a franchise type of player. I mean, Myles Garrett was Defensive Player of the Year last year. I mean, these are the only 2 guys. The reason when it costs like Myles Garrett and Crosby, the reason why it costs so much is these are finished products. You ain't got to guess. You could draft, 6 defensive ends in the first round right in a row, year after year after year, and you could miss on all of them. Max Crosby is not a miss. Max Crosby has done nothing but dominate since the day that he's got here, just like Myles Garrett. And if they go that route, it's going to cost you. You gotta pay for those guys. But like Dan Campbell had said, we're not just trading for this year. You're trading for the longevity, or you're trading for somebody that isn't going to last to 2026, because in 2026 is where all hell breaks loose on our contracts. 2026 is where we're going to have to move some money around so we can pay guys like Brian Branch and Kirby Joseph if they're not already paid. So you have to have it be short, and that way it doesn't affect the long-term deal, or one of these contracts have to last throughout. Like, Max Crosby goes through 2026. You got the cap number, $24 million. You might have to do something about those cap numbers. You might not be able to restructure these guys, so you have to do it somewhere else. But you can have bookend pass rushers of two of the best pass rushers in the NFL if you wanted to. And that would be worth 2 first-round picks. It just is. Because you can spend all the money and develop guys all you want. It still took 3 years for Hutchinson to become Hutchinson. He had a pretty good year last year by the end, but those guys don't just come out and dominate. Not many of them. Myles Garrett doesn't grow on trees. Yes, for sure. Mark says that Crosby was listening in on his PR classes. LOL. Yes, he is. But he did not definitively say, I am not going anywhere, because he can't. He doesn't have control over it. I mean, he can tell people that he doesn't want to get traded all he wants. But you think he's going to be upset to get traded to Detroit? Yeah. And then he can go back on his, when he gets there, he can tell all of his friends that were part of the Las Vegas crew, say, listen, I didn't want out. They traded me anyway. And that's what all of the guys should be saying. So what do you think? Who could be the guy? Who could be the guy that the Lions could be looking at? They could be looking at Harold Landry this weekend. How would you like to have Harold Landry on our team? I mean, he's an older guy, but he's the one that fits that bill of, an older player that could be more like a mercenary for hire. He's still got some skills. He may not be what he was, but let's look at this. Let's look at Harold Landry. Let's see what his Titans. All right, let's get you in here. Harold Landry. There you go. Right up on top. $17 million in the base salary. You're just paying for him straight up. No cap relief that he could get. You have him in 2026 too, with no guaranteed money. 0 guaranteed money. This is a definite trade target for the Lions. Definite trade target. Harold Landry, 28 years old. Definitely a trade target. Now, he's more of a outside linebacker type of dude, but still, he rushes the passer. And they got him signed through 2026. Next year is his last year. That is a perfect rental. Which is Harold Landry. So they're going to get a good look at him this year. And of course, you want them to pay couple game checks. That's what we're looking for, just like Broski had said. Got to look for them game checks. I don't think that Holmes parts with that many picks. We get another edge rusher for cheaper, not like these guys. Myles Garrett and Max Crosby. There is nothing out there that's like that. You're not going to get anything else like that. You won't get another edge for cheaper that that can do what those guys do. Those guys are dominators. Max Crosby or Myles Garrett takes the Aiden production where it was and keeps it there. You don't have to worry about, coming off the edge with a different, a rotation of guys or anything like that. So I don't think this hasn't been Holmes to do this. It hasn't been Holmes's deal to go out and spend the picks. But I'd been over this from this week. I keep showing this, and I want to show it just because it makes sense in this way. The Lions have never been in this position before. You got $26 million in cap space. And all of these guys, when we're looking at 2025, 2026, even in 2026, you have, look at all of these guys here. The only ones that aren't there anymore are the void contracts. So you don't have these guys, Khalif Raymond, you don't have Carlton Davis, you don't have DJ Reader still. You do have DJ Reader for one more year in 2025, but you got Alex Anzalone out of there. But look at all of these guys that are still on the team. And we were running through this last year, and I brought it up when we were in the during the draft, was we have a lot of these guys under contract already. So let's just say they don't trade any picks for next year, Mark, and they draft 7 players. There isn't 7 available roster spots. You are already in a position without trading any players that your draft picks may not make the team, because we have these guys that have been here. You believe in, Jahmyr Gibbs, Jack Campbell, Graham Glasgow, Terrion Arnold, Sam Laporta, Brian Branch, Brock Wright, Broderick Martin, Ennis Rakestraw, Kobe Sorsdahl, Mahogany, Wingo, Goff, Ragnow, Decker, Sewell, Aleem. Like, all these guys are still under contract without spending any more money, adding any more cap. The deals are already done in 2026. So when I say that we got a window to say F them picks, we do. Well, I trust Brad Holmes to pick in the second round for a couple of years if Max Crosby's on my team or Myles Garrett's on my team. I mean, forget the draft picks for a second. Myles Garrett, Aiden Hutchinson, Aleem McNeil, and DJ Reader next year if you get this deal done. Rushing the passer with a fully loaded secondary with Brian Branch, Kirby Joseph are still under contract. Terrion still under contract. Rakestraw still under contract. I mean, the thought of it, this is why this was fun to me. It may not be fun to everybody, not as good as them, but another edge that isn't as good for cheaper, not parting with that many picks. Just don't think that he will do it. Has to be the right deal. Like, if you're still building the franchise and you're not one player away, like, you don't do that type of move, Mark, unless you are one player away. And before Hutchinson got hurt, I thought we were 0 players away. I thought we were fine. Hutchinson's such a plus player that he gives you the ability to rush 4 guys and still get pressure. Now, minus Hutchinson, we did get 4 sacks in the last game. I'm not trying to take anything away from the schematics of it, but they did not get any pressure with 4 last week against Darnold. Sam Darnold had time to take a nap in the backfield, unless the Lions blitzed 5 or 6 and blitzed 1 or 2 guys. That's the only way they got pressure. You can win games in the NFL if you can't get pressure on a quarterback. You ain't going to win the Super Bowl unless you have a guy that can get after the quarterback. You need a guy that completely wrecks the game as a pass rusher. You know, the Kansas City Chiefs, you know, they have Chris Jones who gets after the quarterback, who gives pressure in the middle. Got a good defense. So you got to be able to get after the quarterback to win the Super Bowl. I'm not saying we can win the division without making a big trade. Not saying he shouldn't do it. I'm saying he won't do it. That's not Holmes' history. He usually doesn't give up a lot for players. He could surprise us, though, but who knows? And that's where I'm trying to go, Mark. This isn't like Brad Holmes. But Brad Holmes has never been in this position before. Brad Holmes has never been in this position. He's drafted so well that you can draft more players, right? Draft 7 more players next year. You know, draft some players in the first round. Yeah, they'll first round players will make the team and all that. But we don't have a lot of players that we got to fill. We got the guys we want already. You can go get the guy that you want. Now, believe me, when I say that it's not in Holmes' history, the thing is, having a top flight pass rusher available in trade, if this happens, I think it's more dumb on Myles Garrett or on the Browns' part. You're telling me that you would trade Myles Garrett, a premium pass rusher, for only a couple first-round picks? You won the lottery. You got a great defensive player. He's proven it. He's out there. He's dominating. Just the defensive player of the year. You would trade that for lottery picks? For a chance to win the lottery when you already won the lottery? You can build around Myles Garrett at 29 years old. You can build around Max Crosby. Why would you give away your cornerstones? This would not be stupid on Brad's part. This would be stupid on the Raiders' part. This would be dumb on the Raiders' part or the Browns' part. Brad Holmes should run to Cleveland if Myles Garrett is available for what I showed you he was available for. That is not going to strap the team if they get Max Crosby it'll cap strap the team more with Max Crosby, but not as much with Myles Garrett. I'm not holding my breath either. I only got 2 more weeks to really hit this, and then it's all going to go away and all the speculation is going to go away. We're going to play the rest of the season. It's all good. It's all good. We got some Thursday night football tonight. It's the Lion Villain Report with your host, Russell Wayne, in the house. We did our lock picks today, but I enjoy talking about the possibility of trade talks here. I enjoy it. I do. Oh, hope that it happens. I hope that it happens. The Lions Villain Report. 10 a.m. Monday through Saturday. You can join me, Russell Wayne, your boy, talking Lions. Maybe even a little bit of trash talk on here. The bad guy says, hey, we'll find out in 2 weeks, and whoever's right is right, and whoever's wrong is wrong. It don't matter. Play matters, and the Lions are still winning. Yeah, you're right. Whoever's right is right, and whoever's wrong is wrong. But I have a show that I do every day, bad guy. I don't know if you've ever heard of it, called The Villain Report. And I need topics, and I have to have things to talk about. And every time I try to talk about something else, people bring up trades to me, which means that the people that watch the show actually want to talk about it, whether they want to admit it or not. They want to talk about it. And I love speculating about it. I love the thought of having Myles Garrett and Aiden Hutchinson rushing the passer and terrorizing offenses for the next 3 years, regardless of what happens after that. So Dan Campbell said that they were evaluating internal options for edge rusher. Yeah, for guys that can play on the team. You ain't evaluating internal options for a replacement for Aiden. He also said that they were actively shopping and that they were going to go get somebody, that they needed more. I don't know what he's evaluating. We saw in the Vikings game, and it was a non-existence. And that's the truth. That's the truth. Those sacks came because Aaron Glenn schemed blitzing pressure. Blitzing pressure. In the NFL, you can win games by manufacturing pressure. You ain't going to win championships. The Lions are not going to win a championship this year unless they're able to get a pass rush with 4 guys. They won't. You got to be able to get a pass rush with 4 guys. So if they're evaluating internal options and maybe they get lightning in a bottle with Isaiah Thomas or, Ukuwu or Muhammad or one of those practice squad guys. Those guys were on practice squad for a reason. Yeah, I mean, you and I just going to get somebody to come in and even come close to doing something what Hutchinson was doing. You need a guy that can dominate. Leo says, I really hope we get Crosby or Garrett. And boy, if we do, we dominate. And then Aiden comes back healthy. It's for sure. It's for sure. Let me get this music in here because Mark, thank you for allowing me to know that I'm coming to the end of my time here today. Have a blessed day, everyone. Faith, family, and then football. This is the Lions Villain Report. You can join me every morning at 10 a.m. Thursdays are our Lock Picks days. Thank you to the 56,000 followers that we have on our Facebook page who are liking and following and sharing and commenting on this content. We love that. Why have billions when you can have thousands? We are the UDFA of sports podcasting. We're Lions fans. We're not used to being the best. So we know we're not the best. That's all right. That means that we're going to have to work harder to get our name out there. We're going to have to work harder. Like we're not the best show that's out there, but we're a good show. Woodward Sports is better than us, but that's all right. ESPN's better than us, but that's all right. You guys got Darren McCarty and Braylon Edwards, and I'm just Russell Wayne. I'm just Russell Wayne. I'm a blue-collar guy. I don't mind going to work 40 hours a week. Support the UDFA of sports podcasting. And how do you do that? It's easy. Like, share, and comment. If you're on this video right now, wherever you're watching it, hit the like button. It's okay. Faith, family, and then football. Skip Smith. Imagine the line ahead, Hutch, Aleem, Reeder, and Garrett. It would be sick. What would you pay for that? I don't care if it's 3 first-round picks. If the Browns are stupid enough to make Garrett available, pay it. You're never going to get another chance. There's never been in history of the NFL. You probably look back, and maybe I'm wrong on this, but if you can find one, when have there ever been 2 top 5 pass rushers on the same line? That would be a legendary line, Skip Smith. Thank you for your comment. Support the UDFA of sports podcasting. Thank you. Subscribe to the YouTube channel at Lions Villain Squad. If you would like to partner with the Villain Squad and be guilty by association, reach out to Main Event Mike, 810-620-2167. And then he will give you pricing and packages. Find out how you can be guilty by association by partnering with the Villain Squad. This episode was brought to you by NFL Shop, our affiliate marketing partners. Use the code or that QR code to go get up to 30% off of your order. Grab that nice little Blackberry Gibbs jersey right there. I'm doing nice for you. It's faith, family, then football. In that order. We use football, spend time with our family, and to create memories, we don't let football use us. And may the Lord bless you. May the Lord keep you. May the Lord shine his face upon you until we meet again tomorrow for football talk. Lion Villain Report. God bless. Peace out.
Hey, yo, the lies told that you never make it. Hopeless, so it seems. Eyes closed, hands open wide to embrace your dreams. Sometimes you gotta take a loss just to get the win. Like lots of sin was popping in like oxygen when boxes wet. Focus on the mental, never lose like a smooth instrumental. Better choose on the move in a pinto. Choose when I get to, never lose smooth on the move, but it's simple. Never give up and we running and maybe we just keep winning, we conquering daily. Envision and pay me, it's never the sway me. Indigenous, maybe we winning, it's crazy. Your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity, it's your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity, it's your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity, it's your